Hello, everybody. I know I am in a car right now. I am actually about to go to my doctor's appointment, and I was like, you know what? I have quiet. I have a little bit of time. I might as well make a video. Actually, let me just we're gonna be a little more comfy. So, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, I am pregnant, and I am pregnant with our third baby. So I wanted to just share a little bit about how that's been going, how we found out that I was pregnant, what my symptoms have been, and just some other thoughts about having a third baby. I am currently about 16 weeks pregnant and very excited. I am having a boy and another boy. I was so shocked when I saw that I was having a boy. I was so certain that I was going to have a girl for quite a few reasons. I've had a couple of people tell me that they had dreams that I was having a girl. I also am having my baby in October, and my grandmother and my mom and me were all girls that have been born in October. So I thought, for sure, this is going to be a girl. And surprise, there's no mistaking, it is a boy. I'm glad that I saw it on the ultrasound because I wouldn't have believed it. It was so shocking. I cried a little bit, not out of sadness, just out of I thought it was hilarious. So finding out that I was pregnant, people have asked me, was this a surprise? It was not really a surprise. It was more of a surprise that I was having another boy. Just like my last child, we kind of waited until a year to maybe start trying for another child because I had a C-section, and my doctor really was like, try to wait a year before you go for another kid. After my first son, I felt like I was ready to try for a baby at 10 months. This time, I did not feel ready at 10 months. I was like, 2 kids is a lot of work. I do not feel ready. And even at a year, I was like, I don't feel ready, but I mean, might as well go for it. So finding out that I was pregnant, I started to feel a little bit nauseous. I also was very emotional, crying for things that I don't normally cry with. I'm not a very emotional person. I don't normally cry, but I was just finding myself crying at things. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm either about to get my period or I am pregnant. And so I took a pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant. My youngest son was in the room with me while I was checking because we have 2 kids and life is crazy and I don't get a lot of privacy. And so, I did take a video. I'm not going to share the video because it's a little bit crazy. There's a child screaming in the background, but literally I was finding out I was pregnant and I'm shaking because that moment where you're like, wow, I have a baby in me. That is just such a surreal moment. And I was just shaking, and my son is in the background screaming, because he wants attention. And then I was like, should I surprise Daniel, my husband? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and tell him right now. He's in the other room. So I just walked into the kitchen and I was like, I think we're having a baby again. And he's like, what? He's like, okay, and let's do this. And so it was not very emotional. It was just maybe emotional more on my part because I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant again. This is gonna happen again. So symptoms that I have been having this has been the pregnancy where I've had the most nausea. A lot of mornings, even I'm in my 2nd trimester right now, and I still sometimes feel nauseous in the morning. Every time I think I'm gonna get sick, I go eat a peppermint or a candy. I have eaten a lot of candy this pregnancy, lots of junk food, just like all my other pregnancies, chips. I have not wanted salmon this pregnancy. Every pregnancy I have a food that I just have to stay away from. This pregnancy, it is salmon. I've really been craving lots of sweet things this pregnancy. That's another reason why I thought maybe it would be a girl. And usually I'm craving lots of salty things with my other sons, But this pregnancy, it's been very sweet, very much like fruits, and orange juice has been fantastic. I have loved orange juice. I'm in my second trimester now, and I'm feeling that tiredness, that exhaustion, but not as tired as my other pregnancy so far. By the end of the day, I am exhausted, and my hips have been hurting this pregnancy already. Like, I get up, if I sit down too long and I get up, it's like, oh, I can't move. Like, the last thing I kind of wanted to say about this pregnancy is I'm thinking that this might be my last pregnancy, but I've always thought like maybe I'd have 3 or 4 kids. And before we even found out the gender, I was like, okay, no matter what, like, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with having kids. I've had 2 C-sections, and the risks of having more C-sections, I'll be having a 3rd C-section with this one as well. The risk of having more C-sections kind of makes me nervous. Last pregnancy, I had postpartum preeclampsia, and so this pregnancy, I'm at risk of having that again, or even having preeclampsia. So I'm actually taking a baby aspirin this pregnancy as like a blood thinner. So that's like another high risk thing. But I also am like, 3 is an odd number. Ever since I was little, I thought, because I was in a family where there were 3 kids, and I always wanted another sibling, and I always thought I'm gonna have 4 kids growing up because I just want there to be an even number. But I don't know, it's just so different when it's like you actually deciding how many kids to have. So I've been kind of just in the mindset this pregnancy that this will be my last pregnancy. So it's like very bittersweet. I also am kind of just like ready to move on to that next season of life where like I have my kids and that's it. And like we get to just enjoy having our kids. I feel like every time I'm like getting out of that postpartum phase after a year, I get pregnant, and it's like I don't know what it's like to not like to actually be out of the postpartum phase. I'm kind of like ready to move on from that, but it's just like it's just really bittersweet. But I don't know. So if you have any insight, I also just don't know if I'm ever gonna feel done. Like sometimes I feel like every kid I'm like I can have more, then like the reality of having that is like maybe at some point you just have to be happy with what you have. And that's really a tough thing for me in life, is like just being grateful and content with what I have and be grateful that everything has gone well. So those are my thoughts, and that is my pregnancy update. I don't know if I'll do a lot of these updates, but I definitely wanted to share the news with you guys on YouTube. And if you guys have any insight about anything, please share down below, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!